Mr. Prop not super used, except for maybe if there's a Finny or a or perhaps a Jakar, but I don't think any of these are really Jakar players. If Twee got the Luna, I could see him doing that. But honestly, knowing Twee, he probably went Spark of Strength, so he can go his funny speed build. Uh, we'll see. With all these characters, okay, J-Man, Twee, and Dran all have missile prop. It all checks out. It's fair, especially with Strike Show up.
Yeah, I mean, this makes a lot of sense. Those characters are very strong with missile prop. And then, of course, a lot of the other... One of the things is, of course, Juno with this Spark of Strength. I mean, even if missile prop wasn't a debuff to Juno, Spark of Strength is really good on Juno for the extra core speed. So,
of course,
you do like to see that picked up. Of course, Pensando, not Cakes pilled, taking the eject button there, making Cakes cry, I'm sure.
True. Right, one of the only current Juno eject runners. Funny enough, I don't think there's that many that play at such a high level as him. As currently, ADR going to be working on the back foot, as we'll probably see this a lot. Pensando trying to apply a lot of offensive pressure. That if the ball's going to be on the offensive side, flying Blobbos just kind of steamroll a little bit.
Ooh, unfortunate though. Great find there by Dran with the missile prop onto Fire Maiden. And yeah, gonna be first blood off that one, I do believe, and that is the power play. But good defense by Pensando means that the barrier falls just as Fire Maiden goes in, but it is going to be General Twee with some nice Luna dashes to pick up the first goal in overtime.
Yep, good job by Wallaby bringing it to the opposite side, just forcing Pensando to have to time it correctly, and unfortunately doesn't get it. So gonna be 1-0.
Freak out here, dribble off the black hole as well, pass down to J-Man. Crystal Thorns. J-Man taking the entire health bar as payment for keeping the core flip up. We'll see if that pays off. The regeneration is pretty nice though, especially lower levels. You take a lot of damage, but it kind of comes back. So not too worried about that. Good stun by Fireman, gets the barrier there. And now there's an open goal here. Flying Blob was really good at getting these early barriers, but can be difficult to actually get the secure, especially when you waste the core flip like that. But never mind, it was a feint. Pensando with the finesse there, feinting the core flip in order to get the angle between them. All part of the plan.
Part of the plan, definitely not made up. It works out for them well. Finds the perfect spot, and we just not wanting to use that flip. Maybe trying to save it for the next point. It's fair enough. They didn't have any any barriers, so unfortunately does kind of have to use it as Fireman getting that fist of flurries. I don't remember the Juliet old name, but fiery flurries, something like that.
Sure. Flurry of blows going back to D&D 5e is what I usually call it, but I know it's very wrong, so you know. You just go what you go for. Ooh, Wallaby Gangster not finding the hook there, but is a delivery to Durant who gets the kill in the end. So not too bad. Feeding the goalie some experience, getting the higher priority there. General 2 though finding the barrier, nice dash there. Fireman trying to get it with the dash into the core flip, but not enough. General 2 trying to find a cheeky rocket there, not going to find it either. Piercing shot goes a little bit wide, but Jamin is back on the field with Rose Warp with the Crystal Thorns, not enough to get through Dren, not even having to invest the core flip just to get the Blobbo comes out. Pass up to J-Man, who actually self-black holes there just to get it away. Fireman looking very low in health, but not staggered yet, so there you go, finally staggered. And there goes the Crater Maker into the actual, I think Dran gets the kill in the end there with a little bit of a primary there. Nice sort of delivery. Just feeding Dran so many kills here as well. Piercing shot not perfectly lined up, not going to force out the core flip there. And so we will go for another loop here of this. A black hole is just popped constantly to keep the field nice and open for some of the plays to get angles onto the goals. There we go. Piercing shot from J-Man finally forces out that core flip. The redirect structure really nice to keep the speed. And Pensando jumps over the core, unfortunately not getting the perfect strike timing. Jump was a little bit too soon.
Yeah, it's an interesting little mind game that Wallaby is having to play here, trying to strike it so it's just awkwardly inside of where Pensando has to jump to, but can't get, like, if he doesn't angle his mouse correctly, makes it a little bit harder to save if you don't time it right. So good on Wallaby to get that goal and see if he can keep it up.
Yeah, see more running around here. A lot of damage being passed around. It is the first set as well, so those low health bars, especially with something like Spark of Strength Missile Prop, starts so much damage being passed around. We see some strike shots, almost dash punch from Fireman, but it is actually going to just be a strike in the end anyways. No kill, but a goal is pretty nice, taking us to a 5th point in Game 1, and this is feeling, I mean, I'm pretty sure this last team, Flying Blobbos, went to a Game 3 set 5.5, so they are going through a marathon right now.
You know, it definitely takes a lot out of you mentally when you do this multiple games in a row, as you're just fighting for your life. As Wallaby tries to get the hook into flip, does not kill J-Bad, but eventually plays kind of a little bit reset. A little bit. Oh, nice combo attempt. Does not kill Tui.
Be just barely living there, but will regenerate here quite a bit. Black Hole is popped again. Pensando going forward with the eject button is able to get back in time. A lot of damage on Fireman from the Crater Maker and the Whammy and the Death's Touch and the Pendulum Swing, but it's not enough. Juliet in the middle of the field living. Mako Primary is going to not hit, well, with the first part, but not the second important part that does the damage. And a lot of corner aggression here, though, from Atlas's Diversified Resume. And they will actually get that barrier really nicely set up there by Wallaby and General Tui. Rose Rope is a nice stun and pass up to the top as well. The piercing shot was invested but not needed. The Crystal Thorns gets it around the demon angle, and Dren was just not expecting that one. Had the core flip, but was just a little too far forward. Was expecting it, and I think I was also expecting it to go to the right, but the demon angle Crystal Thorns is just a nice pickup there, and that is a spark of focus potentially going the way here of Pensando for the extra strength as well. A lot of other good options there. Stagger Swagger, of course, is a very big pickup here for either team, whether to stay alive or deny.
And I just wanted to mention that was missile prop diff right there. That ulti went so far, the overtime hit right as the core got hit, and was not expecting the core to go that fast. But something to note is that stacks on stacks for General Tui that I was mentioning it early on. He always wants to go some kind of speed build just so he can just keep striking it and keep being in position. So him getting that, he must be pretty happy with that. And for how close it is, this is gonna be pretty tough for the red side, I think, based on the Awakened draft.
Yeah, but of course, you know, the Juno with extra core speed and cooldown is pretty nice. General 2, though, finding a nice angle there. Building up that speed on the stacks and stacks. And Pensando almost getting hit by that pendulum swing there. Great dash punch, but a little bit too late to actually find the goal, but a lot of damage here. If that can be capitalized on, General 2 might die, but not just yet. The corner aggression by Wallaby Gangster as well. 1v3 an enemy goal. Well, Luna just kind of regenerates, has a bit of an R&R there, takes a vacation, and Wallaby finding the barrier as well. Flying Blobbos not opening the goal up first this time. And that's almost going to be a goal. Nice. Ooh, nice primary from Dran is going to find it. I was going to say the nice rocket from Twee found an angle, but it was defended. But in the end, from downtown, that missile prop Mako, especially with strike shot as well, you can never count out. There is so much range of it.
Well, we got a really good timing by him, figuring out what will work best as we're trying to create a round here, which works to strengths on both teams with the Luna and the Juno. We'll see how they keep it playing as Dren forced to flip, but now the offense is on the opposite side.
Yeah, you're going to pass it back and forth a lot. Great jump there by Pensando. Does manage the Juno tech that time. Very difficult to find that time, as you were talking about earlier. But a showcase that it is possible to do, and Pensando can actually do it pretty well. Great read there by Fireman as well, dashing down, and actually will get the barrier in the end with the increase, with the aggression being kept up, but not able to get the goal just yet. Trying to find the core flip angle. There it goes. Piercing shot from Drayman was, of course, amazing in that setup, and then Dran clearing down right into Fire Maiden's hands, awaiting it with the core flip.
Good stuff out of this team. As if we're seeing Flying Blobbos on offense, then they're going to be happy. I mean, that's the whole point of having this eject goalie, is just pure offense. See how they can add it and make it a 3v3 and make it painful. As we can see, Wallaby is playing a lot defensively, I'd say. Like he's constantly back here trying to help out with that extra strike, and it's just not working so far.
Great find there by General Twee with the rocket, that whammy. General Twee as well, setting up the Crater Maker, kind of a little bit of a Crater Maker dribble there. Maybe not exactly what you want to have happen, but Now we have Fireman back on the field and still one barrier standing. The power play, not exactly what Atlas's resume needed. They need to diversify a little bit more, it seems. Great strike there from General Twee, that sort of drive-by with secondary, but in the end it's still going to be J-Man's piercing shot that finds the goal.
It was pretty crazy, actually. Wallaby saw his chances to try to add up damage, really trying to force pressure on the J-Man, but in the end, just using too many cooldowns to try to get the kill there ended up costing them. Not able to mount up an offense and not able to get a kill.
Yeah, and really nice Crystal Thorns earlier that, almost a kill onto Wallaby there. A lot of damage mounting here. One single ability could kill him, but he does pick up the orb. Meanwhile, on the other side, General Twee picks up a barrier. Almost two with that primary from Dran, but not quite enough just yet. Fireman going for a dribble with the piercing shot as well. Has the core flip, goes to the corner, baits out the core flip from Dran. Really nicely done. Dran a little bit too early on the read, but Fireman does get the barrier in the end with J-Man's help, but it did invest the core flip there. And now it's one barrier to none, but no core flips on the field just yet, and that does favor a little bit here, this very core control heavy comp if they can get it around people. But not quite anything just yet. We have the slimes coming out, we have the slimes forward, but the Death's Touch is nice. J-Man, though, on that midfield duty, ready to second goalie at any point in time. Fireman trying to get some creative passes with the Shaolin kicks and all that. Not quite enough. Rose Warp Demon Angle into the secondary. Fireman as well with the ult to secure it just in case, but nice setup there by J-Man, and Dran just a little bit too late on it.
Yeah, I was surprised it didn't go in sooner, honestly, from the way that core was going. It just, sometimes you just really got to pop that Mako instantly. But it looks like Fireman's ult really got it stuck back there. So shout out to Fireman, good ulti, good job keeping the pressure up. Because they're up 2-0 now. We'll see what more can they get.
Yeah, we also see the glass.
Yeah.
I was going to say, we see the glass cannon falling to General Twee there again, that speed you were talking about earlier. Surprising to me when extra special and specialized training are on the field. Just the sheer energy tax of all of that extra cooldown on the ultimate, or, making it an absolute necessity to dodge with specialized training. But General Twee, of course, has the way to play that Luna forward. Speed, of course, is very nice. You don't over-invest when you use that secondary. But right now, flying Blobbos off on a tear there, passing around to each other beautifully, getting it on this other side of the field, interrupting even the Death's Touch as well. And the piercing shot up to the top is not enough. Great defense by Dran. Gets it forward. The rocket misses, though, so it's not going to be too much concerted aggression here. They're trying to get some purchase on this core, but Fireman is just not allowing it to happen. And J-Man as well, great offense there. Pensando taking his own barrier, saying, only I get to take the barriers of the flying Blobbos, no one else. But of course, that is one barrier going down, trying to jump forward as well. Crystal Thorns, Flurry, and as well, piercing shot. And finally, after all of that, the one little slime sitting at the bottom of the goal is the one to get it in.
Yep, just fully great offensive pressure. They just played it pretty slow until Pensando could get a really nice jump in and then just throw all of his cooldowns down and stand it through. But
great Rose Orb piercing shot as well, combo from J-Man there to defend that last barrier, the flying Blobbos. Fireman trying to get it forward, but great strike shot, great primary from Dran. One barrier goes down, but not two. Almost sets up Fireman for a kill, and that is a lot of damage from the whammy as well. The Crater Maker comes out, forcing a dodge for Fireman, who has no energy left, but will have the health bar. J-Man as well low, and actually teleports. Great read there by, I believe it was General Twee with the whammy. Could have been Dran as well with the primary, didn't quite catch it, but one projectile hit J-Man there at the teleport point. Perfect read by whoever it was that got that. Blobbo comes out as well, Pensando going up to the top corner. They're trying to clear out, they finally get it, but General Twee has built up a core flip in the midst of all of this, as well as so many stacks on stacks and stacks, almost up to full in just the second point of the series, or of the set. J-Man's pass intercepted as well. Crater Maker comes out again. No energy on Fireman once again. Wallaby Gangster misses the hook, misses the black hole damage as well. Unfortunately, Fireman will start regenerating once again. The kill comp not quite finding the purchase that they really want. And in the meantime, so many, the barriers are just keep falling in favor of flying Blobbos. There we go. Wallaby Gangster finds a great pendulum swing there. And actually, General Twee finding the angle around the Rose Warp there from J-Man. Pensando as well, not finding the slime. And great find there. Just in the midst of all of it, General Twee says, you know what, the killing isn't working. Quick pivot, score a goal real quick. Mental reset. Also one stack away from the stacks on stacks being complete. So General Twee about to get a massive speed boost here the next time he touches the core. There we go.
Yep, there he goes. And genuinely, the way that, we already mentioned this a couple times, the way we will play is for speed a lot. It's just interesting watching Wallaby focus so much on damage when your teammate's not even really drafting for it. So I definitely like them playing much more for this core control. Is Rasmus definitely not bad at it either way. He has a lot of damage, but can provide a good amount of core control. As see if the defense can hold up though. There's been a lot of pressure, and it's good. Like every time it gets cleared up, you see Juno jump forward, you see J-Man blink forward. It's just really hard to play this defense.
Yeah, and this is the advantage of this sort of two midfield brawler team that we see here with the Juno and the Estelle to back up. And with the missile prop on the Estelle, with, we see there Juno flying around, the Blobbo is indeed flying, with the eject button explosive entrance combo. There's just so much range available from the backline on this team. They can play as defensively as they want almost and still have a lot of aggression. And we see here J-Man, though, playing up the dash punch as well from Fireman, getting that great manual redirect there from Pensando, gets up to J-Man, who puts it in. And this much less mobile comp with the Mako, the Rasmus, the Luna, they're just not able to keep up with the flying Blobbos, who are just teleporting all over the place, running circles around them, basically. There's bursts of speed with Mako and Rasmus, but they just, you have a full speed build Luna, just still wasn't quite enough to catch up to just everything that was happening from the side of the flying Blobbos. So great first game there flying from the flying Blobbos, but of course it is a best of 3, so we can't count out ADR just yet.
Yeah, I want to just shout out one pick in specific. This Juno pick, I know that Twee likes playing Juno. On blue side, I'd like to see them pick it away. They'd probably, if I had to guess, pick the Rasmus instantly. But I don't think it's that necessary. Wallaby plays enough characters that I don't think Fire Madden will be contesting that much anyway. So I'd like to see if Juno gets picked away by Twee's side. But unfortunately, I assume that this second game they'll be on the red side and not be able to get that first pick. We'll have to see what the priority comes through for. As the second map will be Clarion Corp might favor ADR a little bit more. We'll have to see if they can just change their game plan.
Yeah, but of course this is the pick for the Flying Blobbos, so they do have a preference for this map. It's their home territory. And of course that means they don't get the side selection as far as I'm aware. Because, you pick the map, you lose the side selection for it, so that might be an advantage here for the side of Atlas's Diversified Resume. But then, it will...
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, that kind of thing can make a big difference, and especially on CTC where it's such a varied map. There's a lot of ways you can go around it. One of the weird things is first pick for the... there's a lot of characters you might want to first pick, some like the Luna, like the Juno, but depending on the way a draft goes, some of those first high priority picks can kind of be nullified later on. So, if you don't ban out the Atlas or the Now, and then you first pick something like a Luna and try to go for a kill comp, and then the 1-2 from red side is just Atlas Now, you just cry because your kill comp is kind of dead in the water.
Right. Usually if you're ever wanting to pick these like high damage, you gotta ban out the Now or the Atlas. It's against probably I'd say 70% of teams. Most teams will be having some kind of melee goalie, and Atlas is favored by a lot of them. So definitely hoping not to see any Now Atlas gameplay. We're definitely unlikely to see it out of Flying Blobbos. Maybe slight more chance out of ADR, but I think that Twee's not a Now player. So at least out of this series, we're going to be seeing a lot more of this Luna, a lot more Juno. Fire Madden, I've seen him play a lot of Asher. I don't know if it was banned last point or what exactly the difference is here. And quite honestly, I haven't watched J-Man play that much. I know him and Fire Madden are both known as the Norms Demons, the double mag souls, like double midfield players. They were the originators of that way back when it was broken, but just nobody picked it anyway. And now that they're showing up now, trying to compete for NASL, it's really exciting seeing what they can do and seeing them compete together. If I remember correctly, the only reason they didn't compete last season, I believe J-Man didn't have time to compete, or else they would have played together. So now we get to see the full roster coming through and playing well so far. I mean, they were seed 3. Right now they're 2-0. They're looking to make it into those Liftoff, either Liftoff or Landing, one of the names, whichever one is the one tomorrow to get into NASL. I mean, if they win this next game, they're just in, right? It's a BO3, I believe.
Could be.
Yep.
Yeah, BO3.
In winner's side.
Oh, and in winner's side. So that means whoever wins here and the winner between Dragon 2 and Pass, both of those, one will be selected by Bun Bun, and the other will be playing against the emblem team. I can't remember. PPL.
PPL. Yep.
PPL, and they will be like 2 BO3s away from making NASL, which is awesome. I mean, new fresh faces. They might even play against me. Who knows? I'll be there, waiting one of the teams. And we'll see. We'll see. It's very exciting.
Yeah. Gotta make sure that all of the all the older players are still on the top of their game. You know, gotta make sure that
Oh yeah.
that none of the new guys get in there. Gotta gatekeep it a little bit. You know.
Oh, that's my plan. They will be getting game kept by my age. That's for sure. As one of the definitely older players, they as it turns out, age mattering a little bit less than some people think.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there are some pretty good players, but of course, there is the saying, "Looking young for a reason." Those new kids on the block with the reflexes of a mongoose.
That's true.
You're like, it's definitely in.
Yeah, as someone I played with the oldest goalie and also the youngest goalie in NASL, I'm fairly certain. So I see both sides. It's all funny. I mean, Muffin himself, I think he's 17 years old right now, and that guy plays on a beast on like 5 ping every game. He has the reflexes. He's the only Kazan goalie player that I know that's still making it work. So.
Yeah, Kazan goalie is one of those things where, you know, when it doesn't work, you're like, oh yeah, this guy's not a goalie. And then you see the one player that's like making it work and you just like, how do we get it around this guy? I try to get it around and he hooks. I try to get it through when he just has a longer reach. What? Huh? Is this balanced? Yep. Nerf Rune.
Yep. True, Nerf Rune. I'm down. Honestly, it's definitely surprising not to see that much Rune in this, because even with those huge nerfs, he is very powerful. As we're about to get into this game, a Spark of Focus Stagger Swagger start. A little icky. In my mind, I do not like seeing that, but a lot of teams are going to be wanting to go that Spark of Focus. So we'll have to see who all picks the Stagger Swagger. I'll be curious, as we're going to see the era coming out for General Twee, I believe. Yeah, this is probably John Twee. I imagine Juno looks like she was banned. Everything makes sense.
It could be Zentaro goalie as well. You never know.
You never know. If some Soren coming out with eject, or he doesn't even go eject, but it looks like it's gonna be the now. Yep, now goalie, and the entire blue side gonna be taking that Spark of Focus where we see 2 Stagger Swaggers coming through for the red side, and I'm honestly, I think I would have rather see more Sparks of Focus come from Flying Blobbos, just because the Era Asher comp isn't going to be damage stopping you, most likely. If anything, Asher's going to one-shot you with a dash punch, but...
Yeah, most likely, especially when you have that now on your team for all of the healing. It's most likely knockback KO to begin with. But Fireman, I mean, he's looking nice with that Stagger Swagger, staying alive, so at the very least, the early stage is not necessarily a bad pickup. Can be hard to judge that, you know, it's like, oh, maybe they wouldn't be in the situation of low health bar if they had more cooldowns, but at the very least, Pensando picking up that Spark of Focus is really nice. You have a 1 on the team, so you can go for denies. It's on the goalie, it's a now as well, so you get a lot of opportunities to heal. And of course, you know, your opponent's not taking any Stagger Swagger at all means that they can be killed. And, you know, you have that Zentaro, you have a surprising amount of damage from now and Estelle as well. No Finny to really complete a damage comp, but definitely some potential there to begin with. A lot of back and forth here, and Wallaby just sitting on the Era Orb in the middle trying to get the extra size, power, and of course the cooldown reduction as well is pretty important too. So, always nice to see that though. Fireman trying to go for an early dash there, psyching out Dram, but not quite enough. crazy angle forces out a core flip from Twee, who almost goes for a shot on the goal as well, but doesn't quite find it. Piercing shot gets it through while the Fireman trying to use a primary, and instant heal. Went from full HP to nearly 0, back up to full HP. Counter flip as well from Dran is pretty nice. Kind of stalls out a little bit, but does get the clear in the end, kind of. But J-Man is really rocking this midfield, keeping on the other side. J-Man gets it up to Fireman, who gets it into the barrier. And finally, it's open goals on both sides. Very large Zintaro here, and Zintaro, crazy with size. All of his abilities are melee. His ultimate scales so well with it as well. So that size Zintaro can be quite a terrifying figure. Piercing shot as well, going to stun off General Twee, but they're not quite able to get the goal just at J-Man passing it forward. The Era NATO prison as well. Core flips forced out all around, and it's going to be the Flying Blobbos to pick up that first goal. Pensando, unfortunately, I believe, whiffing the core flip there. But better safe than sorry. Rather invest a core flip you don't need than just have it sail into your goal if things went wrong.
You can kind of see from how this game's going is there's a good reason why the Era plus Mako comps have lost a lot of favor. They're still not that hard to execute when played correctly. Just there's a lot of speed, so if you're winning the strike wars, then sure it can work, but the onus against very experienced goalies who don't fold too early will a lot be on this Asher. And it's just kind of hard when you're, especially if you're like stuck on the midfield line. You can see they're just gonna keep hitting around her, and then what exactly are they gonna do as red side keeping up the pressure? As we're just gonna get it in.
Yeah, really nice find there by J-Man, kind of dribbling it off the enemy's goalpost and then sending it in with the Rose Warp. But on the note of speed as well, you know, we're not really talking about the speed from Stagger Swagger as well, but you know, with all the damage that they're dealing to Fire Maiden to make him low health constantly, he's basically just getting 15% free speed 24/7, and he's not in danger of dying because now is always there with the safety button, just ready to heal him up. They do find 2 barriers off the back of the path splitter from Asher though, which is pretty nice. Fireman's Oni's Blade is not quite going to be enough to get the barrier, and looking really nice here for ADR with the core flip as well. Piercing shot was low, but it ended up going right behind him, and of course you're locked in an animation, so unfortunately J-Man couldn't even strike it. And so great find by Wallaby Gangsta, just core flip into top shot really quickly there. And great core flip there by J-Man, just taking 1 barrier off the rip. Great mental reset there, if nothing else. Usually you don't want a core flip for that first barrier, but it can be very nice. And again, you lose a point, you immediately get a barrier. It feels pretty good.
We'll see. They will try to keep up that offensive pressure. A lot of times, especially when you're core flipping for just 1 barrier, what you're really looking for is just getting the offensive pressure to start. And a lot of it is because if they can get the offense here as their team, they should have a lot of ways to take out the out options as it still ends. But unfortunately, especially on this map where there's a little bit of purple goo taking away your health, even Stagger Swagger now will not save you if you just take everything to the face. As I'll be honest, a lot of red side has been sitting in this goo for a little too long, in my mind. As
it's a nice refreshing bath there. They can't stay out of it. But unfortunately, it does end up spelling the doom. Firemen playing very close to the sun on this one. Pass splitter, great defense by Pensando up to that point, but the pass splitter was enough, just barely to get it through. And then once the goal barrier's down, just kind of happens. Wallaby Gangsta with the support of General Twee and Dran from downtown ties it up, and we have another first set 5th point here, as we did last game, as we did in 5th point, 5th set right before this for the Flying Blobbos. So just an absolute marathon here. We talked about it before, and a kill flip as well from Wallaby, walloping the enemies there as well. And that's really nice find by there as well. The barrier beam, Wallaby is just on a tear on these last few points, making sure the Flying Blobbos don't have too easy of a time getting over to land it.
Yep, as their Era, you can see Era just constantly trying to beam this Zintaro, keep the offensive down, but unfortunate barrier lost. Just kind of misplaced strike. As we'll have to see. I think a lot of these plays we're gonna see some of the maps favoring different team comps for sure. As this is a lot more of an open map, I think it should, in theory, favor this Estelle Zintaro. Just get the, like, as soon as this, as soon as the barriers are down, I can see the Estelle's and Taro just thriving just like that, as not all the angles can be covered.
Yeah, it's a great find there with the double core flip. A lot of confidence on that one as well to go for the double core flip. Just if they intercept the double core flip, it's over. You've lost all of your, you've lost both your core flips, so much pressure, and you've given the core to the opponents. But just taking that chance and just having the confidence to pull it off. Good find by the Flying Blobbos. Love the 1-2 punch pickup, though, on Estelle. I think it's really underrated. A lot of people go for different ones there, but of course you don't want to deny your Zentaro Super Surge or Explosive Entrance. You don't want to take those. And just, I mean, so much damage is going to be coming out of this Estelle now. Zentaro as well with that Explosive Entrance and all of his abilities being impacts, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, I believe so. As honestly, pretty much everyone getting something that they really want. Asher getting more size going to be huge. Mako getting the speed, very nice for her. And now getting cooldowns, like, everything just feels good. I don't think anyone will really go through this and be like, "Dang, I feel shorted. This draft sucked."
The one thing is maybe the 1-2 punch on the Asher, but I mean, your reward is still size, so not exactly a problem there for Wallaby. Somehow the barriers stay alive there. That is absolutely criminal from the Flying Blobbos to actually get that defense off. And General Tweed just barely not finding the angle with Wallaby there to get that barrier. The fact that one of them going down would have still been a crime, but both of them surviving is just a robbery at that point. It is ridiculous. But an amazing defense there. Finally, we lose. No, we don't lose one because Pensando has that twin drive. Able to just put so much defense there. Heal up Fireman on the other side. Does lose the one barrier in exchange for saving the life of his forward, but every now and then we goalies will be magnanimous and help out the other people on our team.
Every once in a while, it is interesting to note. Now, not able to secondary too many teammates, but I shouldn't speak for long as they're just going to score here. There's a great kill coming out from the Estelle, I believe, with the flip.
Yeah, I mean, that was a kill flip into so much aggression. Really well played there by the Flying Blobbos. Taking a lead here. And, I mean, you also have to put yourself in the shoes of ADR there. They were on a tear there for, 2 points, kind of 2.5 even. But they still ended up losing the set there. They almost got the reverse sweep, and then you get that kind of ending to the first point in the next set, and it is a very heavy morale blow. And of course, at this level, you need to be able to take those and keep on going, because, sometimes just the luck of the draw, you will get absolutely just not good things on the draft. It won't work out for you, so you need to be able to come back from that. So that is one of the things that we're going to see from ADR if they can pull it off, but right now it's not looking good for them. They are 1 set, 1 point, and 1 game down in this best of 3, and Flying Blobbos is not looking to ease up anytime soon.
But a great redirect coming in from Wallaby, finding that perfect angle, a kind of a demon angle a little bit on that barrier. Maybe see if they can take this point back again. I should note that they did win this map last time. And it looks like they're going to keep that going unless they can find it through. Oh, you see a wasted flip from Fireman, and I looked a little bit confused as to what happened there. He was standing still, but all good.
Yeah, I mean, Pensando almost pulled off another crime right there, but went for too deep of a Soren angle, unfortunately. Fireman not finding the double he was looking for there. Did find the one at least, but... And the now arrow as well, really nice to counter the core flip from Dran. Wallaby, though, looking very close to core flip on the bottom there. Did pass backwards from Fireman, and you can even see he threw out the Drakkar emote there. He knew what he did, accidentally passing it to the enemy forward. Happens. Core flip is really nice. Strike war won by Fireman there against Dran, who kind of had to strike anyways. And the Blick as well, but General Twee is there to protect. Pass up to J-Man from Pensando. They are really good at this sort of double goalie pushing forward together. It's not really double goalie, it's like double goalie and double midfield at the same time. They are one unit of goalie midfield moving as they need to. Curse of Thorns really nice as well, but General Twee holding onto this core flip for dear life, not having to invest it just yet. Just a lot of confidence and a lot of risk in that, but so far so good. Using it there on the offense, but holds it a little bit too long there because of the piercing shot. And so we get another instance where the core flips just aren't paying off as they really need to for ADR to really capitalize on this. Now ult also comes out again, and still these barriers are not falling.
Oh, Pensando going all the way forwards, trying to get that flip to finish it off, but still they're holding. They will not. The real problem is they haven't gotten too much offense up till now. They're kind of getting dragged around the map quite a bit. Just constantly up down as Era struggling without a dash awaken here, just trying to play the game here. But Asher gets the ball in the corner and loses it. Now keeping the offense as Mako correctly does not just hit it into the Zentaro secondary. As now we're back in the corner though. Oh, nice Mako primary. Takes it.
Yeah, really nice find there by Dren to get the barrier. Finally, it's an open goal here. Backwards piercing shot from J-Man into the goal. I think what he was trying to do was hitting it down into the corner.
Yes.
But a little bit overcooked on that one. I think if he didn't do that, there's a chance that Pensando can actually run and actually get that save. But unfortunately, is going to be ADR taking the lead in this set off of an own goal. Although to the credit, again, it was going in already, so not a total own goal. But definitely one of those moments when your brain isn't working at 100%.
It is pretty huge for ADR though, because that was a map that I believed that Flying Blobbos should have advantage of, and now they're stuck on a little bit more of a painful map where see if they can play around it a little bit better. It looks like they're eating Gua a little bit less this time around, but still one barrier to one as Asher taking a lot of damage. Remember, she does not have the Stagger Swagger, so she's gonna be just dead. No Stagger Swagger, no now.
Yeah. And General Tweet also looking very low, has the core flip, is going to use it early, sort of gets the target off her back there, but still takes a lot of damage with the core flip from J-Man. But that's a lot of purple goo on Zentaro and Estelle both. Piercing shot comes out. Fireman just barely dodging and weaving around all of these abilities. Is going to live for now, almost kills the arrow, almost gets the barrier, but does manage to regenerate to full HP, at least pretty much with that Stagger Swagger. Piercing shot. Quengle off the edge, J-Man finds the angle there. J-Man passing over forward, now trying to go forward and use this core flip to try and get the last bit of aggression that's needed for this. Oni's Blade comes out with the primary as well, with this passive too, but it's not enough. Rock solid defense here from ADR, but in the end, it's the overtime Rose Warp from this 1-2 punch Estelle that just sends it rocketing to the top side of the goal where they just were not expecting it to be.
Yeah, they kind of decided, you know what, we can punch these guys too. They got a lot of kills. Era under a lot of pressure throughout that whole point, as just well played by Flying Blobbos. Keep the aggression. That's just really the name of the game for them here. As Estelle manages to steal the middle orb away just with her ulti, I believe. There must have been a very low number.
Yeah, the last little Crystal Thorn sneaking it around the Asher, which is huge. Asher not getting that size, and of course the cooldown resets on Estelle are amazing there. Crystal Thorns finds it again. Really good find there by J-Man. Able to just keep this point so far in favor of the Flying Blobbos with all these little plays. But of course, one barrier to one barrier in the end. I suppose it's not all that far ahead. We have another orb here, and a little bit slower here, Wallaby a little bit more patient, finds it with a strike after a lot was invested by Fireman. But not quite enough. Pass Splitter comes out, but Wallaby actually ran in front of a core flip, denied there. Core flip coming out from Fireman as well. Piercing shot gets it all the way through, but we do have that Bewitching Beam hitting Fireman. Very small Zentaro here, not able to do too much there. Picks up an orb, core flip down, denied by Wallaby Gangsta. Of course, with the extra size from that build different is pretty nice to have for things just in that situation. Red cores, of course, all over the place. We are in overtime. There's a lot of power on the field as well, but it's just not quite enough to get this barrier for either team. Corflip is really nice by Dren to try and get it away, but doesn't get too much done. That's going to be Wallaby winning that battle for the center orb again, and as we get farther into this, it's going to matter a lot more. Just having those cooldown resets when everyone is dry on abilities and has nothing left is so huge. But ooh, Fireman messing up the combo there a little bit. I think he was trying to go for a dash into passive, but didn't quite get the perfect execution he was looking for. General to trying to keep this corner aggression. Finally, Wallaby does find the rebound into the goal. Bewitching Beam, great find there in the end by ADR. Pensando not getting a perfect clear there, and General Tweet picking up, putting it to the bottom, and that is a set for ADR at long last. They are potentially on the way to this winner's spot in landing, and Era gets Monumentalist, denies away the now, although she still gets something like Timeless Creator. But that means that Aerials is also on the field for this Estelle. We might see Spark of Resilience, though, picked up by this now goalie, and there it is, denies away from Asher and all the others so that they can't get that survivability. And of course, more cooldown, more better when you're talking about now, or anyone.
Yeah, true. Cooldown, very powerful thing in this game. It's interesting to note both teams, after winning the set, they both had less XP than the ones who lost the set. So like in the end, the other team gets to do 2 picks, while the other team only gets to do 1. So it's just interesting to note. I did want to mention that something I've seen a lot from Flying Blobbos is J-Man will constantly be liking to flip and just try to basically flip in a midfield position to get the ball to Zentaro. And while I think that's fine, I'd like to see him playing a little bit more around his own cooldowns too. Just try to force it in. Because normally he'll flip and then he'll just strike it forwards. But something you can do a lot as Estelle is you just flip your primary, you throw all your buttons in, and it's not fully guaranteed, but it's definitely just a good option that I don't see J-Man throwing out.
Yeah, we've had a couple of times where he used the abilities kind of in a sequence, but not the full combo and not trying to shove, more just to get around people. So definitely could have a few goals that go a little bit differently with that kind of mentality. But it seems to be working for the most part so far. There's always little things to clean up even at this level, though. So that is a good point. Actually, a great find, though, from Fire Maiden. Just great setup there by J-Man. Not a perfect clear from Dran and General Twee, and Fire Maiden just gets it, finds the slight angle between the two, and once again, Flying Blobbos take the first goal in the set.
Really nice patience. We'll see. Something funny enough I wanted to point out, ever since especially the Monu nerfs, I think that Monumentalist era, not that good. It's still like her Biss, and I don't think she works well without Monu, but I don't think that you'd ever really care that much about now getting Manu either anymore. So maybe a little of a misdraft. I honestly would have rather just see him go Spark to keep it away from now. As we'll see if it comes back to bite them, or if he can pull out some good Era tornadoes.
Yeah, there is always a lot of if, especially with Sparks, you just don't know how the draft is going to go, whether or not there's going to be, a Spark every draft and you get that full Exodia stack up, or, maybe, a nice passive look there from Fire Maiden, but doesn't actually psych out Dran. But sometimes, you get all the Sparks in the last draft and it's kind of sad. But great core flip from General Twee, finds one bear, but it's copied on the other side without a core flip from the Flying Blobbos, who are 1 point away from securing another set. Backwards Rose Warp is kind of a nice pass there, actually. Don't know if it was intentional, but it did work out. So we'll just call it intentional and leave it at that. Great angles all around, but they're just intercepted because at this point these players are expecting the good angles. Sometimes you have to go for some really wonky bad angles, so you're not going for the demon angle 24/7. Great kill found there by Asher, almost 2. But Zentaro is off the field. There are no stacks on stacks or prize fighter to lose, but a barrier is launched with pass, but with the core flip, so much invested, and finally ADR is on the board.
Yeah, Asher getting to proc that adrenaline rush might be the win con they need to get through this game and try to get back into this set. Down 1-2. Still doable though. They've shown they can do it before.
Oh, nice read right there off of the arrow, keeping the speed, and a crazy bounce there from J-Man. I mean, that's going to be a click later on, I'm almost certain of it, because that was just wild. With the blick off the ultimate, so much good tech there from the Flying Blobbos, showing why they are a contender here for this winner's liftoff spot, or winner's landing spot even. But just not quite enough, because on the other side we do also have ADR with a really good defense, but in the end, Pensando teleporting forward from out of nowhere, striking against Dran, who didn't expect there to be another player there.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about Pensando, is whether it's Juno or Now, Juno can do it way more often, but Now still can teleport in and strike for you. And yeah, you kind of have to be cognizant of it. It's really hard, but good job on Pensando as he gets rewarded with that 3rd Spark. So he has so much cooldowns, a lot of power, not that it matters too much, but gonna be a real menace to deal with on the defense.
Yeah. We do also have that reverb, though, on the Asher. A little bit more cooldown, a little bit more health. Pretty nice to pick up. The Among Titans as well on that era means that Asher gets even bigger. Almost would have liked to see the Might of the Colossus, but I think reverb health is just way too good to pass up. And of course, with all that cooldown and the ad rush, this Asher is a nightmare waiting to happen. If they can get those ad rush procs, it'll basically just be a full reset every time.
There's a good attempt, but a really even nicer defense from flying Blobbos to stop that double barrier from coming down. As they're just kind of playing around, trying to play it slow. And really just playing around the fact that Aeronado cannot be redirected. It's stuck there, and it's usually going to be pretty obvious where you want to go. So good on flying Blobbos to keep that patient, as Aeronado going up does not work out as we're stuck in the corner, but nice job from Mako using that very powerful defense. See if they can keep it going. It's a little bit of bull, though.
Yeah, we have a lot of this sort of playing around from the flying Blobbos. Another kill, though, onto Dran, of all people, outside of the goalie box, wandering a little bit too far away from home. And it's one of those things on goalie, you can kind of get used to the nice, cushy damage reduction of being in the goalie box. You don't expect some of these kills to happen. Like, that shouldn't have killed me. I was nowhere near death range. But then you realize that it's actually a forwards world out there, and you're about to get killed, unfortunately. It was just a really good pickup by the flying Blobbos there. Crystal Thorns comes out, but good block by General Tweed keeps it from going into the goal. Aeronado is about to come out, hits Fire Maiden. Barry goes down to Wallaby Gangsta there, and actually finds the goal as well between J-Man and Pensando. Just good awareness of the hitboxes of Pensando and J-Man.
After Fire Maiden got that flip kill onto the Mako, onto the side drum into death, it seemed like, oh, look like we're gonna have a pause. Someone's having some issues. Do not know what's going on, but hopefully
looks like it might be Dran.
Yep, Dran.
Could be potentially a lot of things. Maybe it was something like a technical difficulty that led to Dran being a little too far up there. Would hate to have that be the case, of course. You never want to have technical difficulties happen at the best of times, but especially when it leads to a KO. But, of course, players honoring that, and of course that is also the rule. You finish out the point when something like that happens, and then you wait on the next point. I forget the exact amount of time you're supposed to wait for, but every player is back. They're signaling. Seems like we're good to go. Great start off there by Firemen, going off the middle there with the Atlas. Cosmic Expanse faked by Rasmus. Stolen technology, whatever the lore is for that particular one. But Pensando passing up to J-Man, going up around with piercing shot, but Wallaby Gangsta not going to be phased by that too much. That's one of the big things. Size kind of counters the Estelle piercing shot, but what doesn't is just the other members on the team getting the barrier anyways. But Wallaby does find one bear on the bottom. Red cores, because we are in that overtime with that 1-2 punch as well. Crystal Lens comes out, slows down General Twee. Core flip comes out, immediately blocked. Piercing shot as well, sets it up, but it's not quite enough to go in just yet. Fireman playing very close to the edge there, but not quite dying just yet, is staying alive. So many abilities being used, but he got a really good teleport there. Pass as well, is going to die in the end. I think it was even a strike shot from Dran that got him there. Or maybe the passive from Mako, but either way, that is going to be Zentaro off the field, and ADR looking to potentially score. Soren Angle, though, going out. Great primary from Dran, stops it from happening too early, but there is still scoring potential on both sides here. General Tweed covering the bottom, Wallaby up at the top. Aeronado comes out with the Monumentals, but it is broken through by Pensando. Fireman, can he get the lineup? Not quite. The piercing shot comes out. A lot of damage on this Asher. They can get the kill. They can get it past, but they just have to do something. They cannot let this Asher sit in front of the goal, getting all those cooldowns from Reverb, looking for kills. Great flick, but it's not into the goal. Unfortunately, piercing shot is also a little bit too wide. Aeronado goes wide as well, and the Crystal Thorns puts it in the end. Great point there towards the end. There's very back and forth. I was terrified of that Asher Wallaby Gangsta in front of the goal for so long, but somehow Jamin and Pensando just kept winning strike war after strike war, even with Twee on the rebounds.
Yep. The funny thing about this is this Among Us pickup from Twee making Asher look extremely scary, but also just making his own size just incredibly tough to deal with a lot of it, as Era's like whole thing is her strikes. That's how she kind of has to beat you, and when it's just this much easier to just hit around you, it kind of makes it hard, and that's what happened that last point with the missile prop. as they do have the offense control right now, though, as they're, whenever you see them like playing right on top of each other and just able to clear it out, like take all the clear options, that's when this comp is going to shine, as the Crystal Thorns comes through, kind of set up by the Zendara ulti, and a nice goal is match point, and this is full game point, yeah?
Yeah, this is even match point. If the Flying Blobbos get this point, they actually win the best of 3. They go to winner's landing. Just a great spot to be in for the Blobbos. Not out, though, just yet is ADR, but they are going to have to fight for their lives on this one. Fireman already a little bit low there, trapped in the cage, using the core flip, is denied and takes a lot of damage here. And this is the purple goo map, and Flying Blobbos do like taking baths on this map. They like being nice and clean, but unfortunately, the cleanliness, it's a little spicy on this map. 2 barriers as well going down. Fireman very low on health as well. So is J-Man. Uses the secondary, but does get Mako secondaried. Always so satisfying when you're that Mako, killing the enemy forward. Double kill, but great aggression here by Pensando, teleporting forward, buying so much time, 3 seconds, and the core flip counter as well. Zentaro's back on the field, but it's not going to matter. Wallaby finds it up the top there. And now it is 2-2. And ADR a little bit more comfortable. If they get 1 point, they get the reset. And then it's last set, and then they almost have a reset on the game. It's still a mountain to climb, but it's a lot less scary now. General T almost dying there, but not quite just yet. A lot of damage, though, coming out there. Wallaby finding 1 barrier with the barrier beam, and the pass splitter not finding the second, though. That now sentry drone is not quite going to find everything that they want, but it is going to keep it forward at least for a little bit longer. The air tornado comes out as well. Rose Warp up to the top, past a Fireman is really nice, but not quite enough. Piercing shot as well, not perfectly lined up. And these teams are just so good, you have to be perfect. Fireman a little bit too close to the edge again.
You see the edge rush, we're popping it again. All the cooldowns are back for Asher. This is going to be really hard. They're still going to have a really nice flip here. Does get out a bunch of cooldowns, and they're going to keep it alive for now in time for Pensando to come back. Asher kind of getting low herself. Does not have Stagger Swagger, but gonna go back, gonna get that orb. As the play resets, we're watching this Mako speeding up her teammates, making the game way easier for them. But the offense, the triple offense. Oh, we're dead again, but we do get the barrier. It's a trade as Asher goes down. What did Asher even die to?
I think she walked into a proximity drone from this triple sparked now. And you cannot play with those. That is 154 power on this now. That is a scary arrow if it's been there for any amount of time. General Twee looking very low as well. Potential here for Flying Blobbos just take a bunch of kills, but Fireman chokes the core flip, chokes the goal as well. They're not quite finding the angles that they want. Wallaby surging forward. So much speed here now from ADR. But the Oni's Blade comes out, sends it to the bottom. The Strike War won by Dran in the end. Good defense. Piercing shot countered by a core flip up to Pensando in the top, who almost has core flip himself. Fireman with the support of the arrow goes to the bottom and gets the red hot core straight into the goal. Flying Blobbos takes the game, takes the set, takes the match. Well played to both teams there. I mean, ADR looked like they were about to come back and take Flying Blobbos all the way to the game 3. But in the end, Flying Blobbos just a little bit too much at the end there. They died a few times. They gave the enemy hope, but even that was not enough. They were just too clean on the keep away.